An analyst perspective, I'm going to straight away invite the MD of Boston Consulting Group, Abhi Chatterjee. It's over to you again.
Shika, thank you so much, and privileged and pleasure to provide a quick outside-in perspective of what I would call as win the fight and win the future. The last few months have been extremely interesting. I know I have a few minutes, so I'll keep it extremely sharp and will skim over some specific points as I continue. So it's been a lifetime crisis, I believe, that most of us are seeing, with very few gainers. I mean, if you look at stock market very closely, these are some trends for the first half of the year. What you would see is, barring pharma and maybe some segments within FMCG, a large part of our manufacturing industries, which is energy, infra, auto, metals, commodities, etc. It's been an extremely tough year. I believe the real impacts are slowly coming to life, and it will take us a little bit before we move from the fight into the future. Moving on, we have definitely shown a lot of resilience. So if you glanced papers across the world over the last few months, technology has been a big handle for a lot of organizations to use it to rebound. More importantly, there's been mixed levels of what we would say resilience from different parts of business. Auto airlines have typically found it slightly tough, though auto has rebounded quite well. A lot of new portfolio shifts are happening, essentially for larger energy, oil and gas companies who are slowly moving to greater focus towards renewables. The entire climate change agenda has taken a lot of surge. The fact that we've used technology for knowing how the pandemic has progressed, or even track and trace, has been huge. Now, what has it meant for businesses and companies at large? So if you look at it, they have focused on 6 interventions, and I'll come to manufacturing in just a bit. At BCG, we've closely studied the entire way the wave has evolved, and more importantly, also have a very clear forecasted view of things, how they would also pan out. But 6 clear ways wherein things have evolved. Number 1 is just relentless focus on cost, which has included, which has meant we have just looked at our bottom line very, very effectively. This has also led to increased amount of agility, focusing on our core business. And lastly, and I'm not going to pick up all of them, but importantly, this adversity has also thrown up a lot of opportunities to innovate, embrace change, and delve into new products and services. Now, what that has meant tactically is more in the hat of application of digital and tech, is 6 things have really come to the fore. Number 1, and this absolutely applies in our space of manufacturing, is we have adjusted ourselves to this new normal, right? Now, be it remote ways of working, bringing in automation into our manufacturing floor, so on and so forth. Number 2 is the uptick of digital, both in the front end as well as new portfolio of solutions, offers with our supply chains evolving, has become important. Point number 3, very critical, is the application of analytics at scale. We were largely as a country focusing or relying heavily on business intelligence, running a whole bunch of analytics on stuff that we knew within our company. But we have now come to a point wherein our ability to manage data externally has been very important. And then obviously 2 areas around ensuring cybersecurity and also looking at the people aspect. I mean, most of our organizations have struggled with talent as a big lever. Looking forward, I think there is an evolved mix, both in terms of not only upskilling, reskilling, but also how you would use partners. So let me move ahead and share with you a few examples I think I'll quickly skim through manufacturing in the new reality to something called as a digital twin. Many of you, especially in the industrial space, would be using or would be looking to use a digital twin. Where it has become ever so impactful in today's world is essentially in running business from a distance. So it needs sensors on the ground, real-time insights, so on and so forth. As I move ahead, one of the classic examples is one of the classic examples is from mining, and what I'm showing you is a piece of work that we have been doing with one of the largest miners in the world in Asia Pacific, wherein we today exactly know the number of fleet truck dumpers that are moving. IoT sensors tell us their locations. You can do the key problem we were trying to solve is how do you control demurrage, which is the amount of time that a ship waits for loading to happen, costs huge amount of money both to the company as well as idle time. So it cuts both ways. So we use a digital twin which applies the best of IoT analytics, square them with business thinking in order to save a lot of money and cash for our clients in these tough times, and yet at the same time run them in a very useful and a frugal way. What does this mean? Significant amount of savings. This was achieved in 14 weeks. So obviously the entire platform impact was huge. So these are just a few examples to tee your thoughts around how technology in the heart of business has become critical. One additional example that I would want to share is specifically around partnership. And let me talk about this startup from IIT Madras called Detect Technologies, which, for example, serves some of our largest industrial houses in India. And they have brought to life the ways to inspect, for example, assets autonomously with the help of drones. Also brought in a unique mix of, for example, asset management analytics, corrosion analytics, etc., which are real business problems, but being solved in such a novel way with the use and the power of technology. Yet at the same time, an important fact that companies cannot solve all their problems alone. There is a huge partner ecosystem available, which is there to really drive and take this ahead. Okay. Last but not the least, I think there is an area of innovation, which is, for example, how De Beers, and many of you wear it on your finger, but De Beers can exactly say from which mine, at which date, and what kind of diamond you're wearing. They track it with the help of blockchain, a technology that is so novel but applied at scale, and especially helps you for them to track and really address concerns around quality, track it what they call as mine to market. So I just wanted to summarize with one last slide saying that whilst we are in a tremendous moment of crisis, but this has also opened an awesome opportunity to create a difference. And if you look at all the different downturns that have happened, the best companies have continued to garner 14%. I mean, 14% of the best companies have continued to increase margin as well as increase volume, whilst obviously a less than half of them have led to leakage. So the big question is, how do you want to be that 14%? So with that, what I will do is I will hand it over back to Shikha. And it was a pleasure sharing our perspective with you around which areas to focus on, the right mix of outcomes, people, and obviously technology in order to drive and take us through the pandemic ahead, yet at the same time ensure that we are growing in business.